joy and gratitude to be back on the continent, to be back on the motherland, the homeland, the original land. I'm back. I'm in Tanzania. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about why I returned to Tanzania. The real reason why I'm back. I know y'all have some questions. It's been a while, so we're gonna get into it. I'm Ashley, and on my channel here, Ashley in Africa, I talk about living, moving, and doing business on the continent of Africa. If that sounds interesting to you, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you find my content valuable, be sure to share it with someone else that you think would find it also as valuable and like it. Share it and like. We are growing this community. I want to thank every single one of you, all of our Africans, my Africans on this channel, for supporting this channel, for providing words of affirmation, support, love, encouragement, everything. Y'all are it. Y'all, it's up, and I'm so grateful to every single one of you. I want to give a special shout out to Avery Beckton. Hi, Avery. I got your PayPal. Thank you for the love, the support. It means so much to me. We are so grateful. Every single like, every comment, every share, every subscriber. I value every one of you for taking the time to watch, like, and share my content. It means a lot, especially in this new season that I'm in, okay? And so this is also somewhat of a response video to the video that I originally did when I got back to the US about why I left Tanzania. And, you know, I was building my platform and just sharing my authentic experience after living in Tanzania, specifically Dar es Salaam, for 1 year, and the things that made me love the country, but also the things that made me reconsider other places on the continent, specifically South Africa. And so I want to first say that I learned so much after posting that video from the community. You all left comments, you gathered me together and let me know, hey, you're wrong here, specifically about the majority of Tanzania being Muslim, which I was incorrect. The majority of Tanzania is Christian, and I happen to live in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, which is the coast of Tanzania, which also was centuries ago colonized by the Oman, which is a Islamic state. That is why the Muslim religion is so prevalent, specifically where I am. But Tanzania is vast. It's huge. So I'm still learning, and you can't possibly learn everything about a country in 1 year. But one of the things that I specifically got incorrect in that video was about what religion looked like as far as being a majority Muslim country. I was incorrect. So I want to make sure that I put that out there and let you all know that I got that wrong. Okay, I got it wrong. And that Tanzania, yes, used to be two unions. It used to be called Tanganyika, and there was the mainland, and then there was Zanzibar. And about 30 years ago, am I right, Africans? The country merged together. The two unions became one and formed as Tanzania. And that was when it became a republic. And the late, no, I don't think he passed away, so let me stay away from that. I'm gonna stay away from that. But yes, so those are some of the things that I have since then learned, and I'm continuing to learn, especially about the connection between Tanzania and South Africa. And so I continue to be amazed and just filled with opportunity for learning. That is one of my values: education, ongoing learning, experiences, adventure. I will forever value those things pretty much as long as I'm alive. So I want to thank y'all for all of your love and support and showing me and giving me an opportunity to grow. All right. You know, after being in the US and creating that video, there were so many things and so many reasons that I grew to love Tanzania while I was in the US. I don't know if that really makes sense, but to my community out there that has lived, bicontinentally or in tricontinentally, there are things that when you leave a country or a continent that you don't really realize that you value until they're gone. And I'm telling you, I miss me some Dar es Salaam and some Tanzania. So I'm so grateful to be back here to honor that and to be given the space in the community to do that. And, it was my first visit to the continent when I made my move. Yeah, I took action to live in a place that I had never visited and to come to a continent that I had never visited before. And although I have traveled the world, been to about 15 different countries, and quite frankly, there's nowhere that I've been that I ever felt like I couldn't live, because I feel like I'm very adaptable and I am also like teachable, trainable, all of those things. But yeah, it was my first time. And so many of the cultural nuances that I hadn't understood or hadn't learned, I now have an opportunity to reapply those. And I find so much value in so many of the things that I learned and experienced in Dar that I didn't actually realize that I valued, again, until I left. And so I want to talk about specifically 3 reasons why I returned to Dar es Salaam in this video. And, in many of my videos, or maybe one specifically, I shared that I was really dealing with some hardship, specifically family conflict that brought me to a place of just pure surrender. Many of my family members could not understand my decision to pursue life on the continent of Afrika. And while 98% of them had never been to the continent, they had such strong opinions about my decision, so much so that it really created a conflict in our relationships. And I had to learn to release, but also to honor their perspective while honoring myself. And so that looked pretty rigid for me. I had to erect some serious boundaries to protect my energy because I knew that this is where I needed to be. Not only is it where I want to be, but it's where I need to be. It's where I feel most in line with my purpose. It's where I feel most in alignment with my higher self. It's where I feel most secure in my femininity. And many of my friends and family couldn't understand that. And so while I was grateful for their compassion, that might be the wrong word, maybe their intentions, I also had to honor myself. And that meant me experiencing most of my time in the US alone with my girls in what felt like solidarity. The US was experiencing all types of ups and downs and waves and new variants and this and that. And so we were pretty much in the house, but also the level of crime. I was in the house, hearing sirens and gunshots and arguments, and that don't work for me. It doesn't work for me. And so we were in the house, but that came with a lot of isolation. And I was looking for community, and community was one of the biggest reasons why I came back to Dar es Salaam. I established a serious, supportive, and loving community here. I have family here. I have a healers network here. I have professional relationships here. I have in-home support here. My girls go to school here. They have loving friends, teachers, administrators here. And so after going through 6 to 7 months of what felt like punishment for my decisions, I yearned and longed for the community that we had built here. And you know, it was everything to return to and have such a welcoming experience upon our return that I'm forever grateful. And so the way that looks for us now, or for me specifically, is I'm leaning in more to developing professional relationships, social relationships, because, you know, I'm building a business here. I mentioned in a couple of my other videos that I was able to secure our business license to export coffee, fresh fruits and vegetables. And so now it's time for me to really lean into my professional energy. It's still my divine feminine, but yeah, and build and grow those relationships. So yeah, the community is here. I'm willing to grow it. I'm willing to build it. And the people have welcomed me so much, and I'm grateful for that. And I'll also be speaking more. So I hope to engage with some professionals, some students, in spaces where I can really just share my experience as a working professional woman, an entrepreneur, and also someone that has worked in between corporate and governmental relationships. So if you have any relationships, or if you're in Dar es Salaam and would love to have me speak at your school, at your co-working space, I'll be sure to leave my email in the description box and reach out to me. I'd love to add value to your community and, you know, offer up any supportive words of encouragement or professional acumen that I can while I'm here in your city. So the second reason why I returned to Dar es Salaam was for the ease. Ease is here in Dar. You know, Dar es Salaam is translated as the place of peace, or the city of peace. And it really is that. We spent our first few weeks chilling, like spending time at home with friends, with family, going to the pool, going to the beach, going to the beach, going to the pool. I mean, my skin is just, this is my complexion. I've got my melanin back. But ease is here. I also talked about how the concept of house help and support is so common. It's culturally normal here in Dar es Salaam, or in Tanzania, and many parts of Africa, and, you know, countries that are not in the West. And it's affordable. I've been able to step back into my feminine energy to just be and just to exist and just love on my girls, love on myself, but also reignite that creative energy for me to continue to build my businesses after what required me to be in such a masculine energy, to persevere, to, you know, anchor myself in like just a seriousness that was like, no, like, you know, and that's what the West requires. It's like survival of the fittest. And that was the energy that I was in for so long, but I knew that it wasn't working for me. And so ease is here for me. That is the way I'm living my life. That is what I require. And I get to have that with no apologies, authentically and regularly. Okay. Thank you. The third reason why I returned to Dar es Salaam, and this isn't specific to Dar es Salaam, but the food here is abundant and it is affordable. I'm sure this is so in many parts of the continent, South Africa. I mean, no one on the continent is experiencing food shortages. Nowhere, excuse me. None of these developing high growth metropolitan cities are experiencing food shortages like they are in the West. And I realized after being back in the West, the amount of processed foods that I was consuming, y'all, like on top of the stress and the isolation, Ashley, she gained about 15, 20 pounds eating processed, fat, salt, chemically enriched foods. Yeah, it was a problem. It was a problem. So I'm back to eating fresh fruits and vegetables. We're in the season of Ramadan. So although I'm not fasting specifically the way Muslim culture does during Ramadan, I have been very intentional about making sure that I am consuming more vegetables and fruits than I am grains and protein, fish or chicken. But everything here, I can already tell the difference. My skin, I can already see the difference in the inflammation in my body has gone down. I've lost a couple of inches. But yeah, it is necessary. It was necessary for me to return here to just my safe space where I felt a familiarity, a grounding, and a support that I needed in this next journey of my life. And as I ascend spiritually, financially, professionally, I needed to be surrounded by the ease, by the community, and by nature, because they all feed me, they all enrich me with something that I wasn't getting in the West, and quite frankly, is unavailable. So I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video. If you are living with ease or aspiring to live with ease, please drop a purple heart emoji in the comments. If you found this video valuable, please be sure to like it and share it with someone that you think would also share in this content, and subscribe to my channel to get updates on when I post new content next. And if you are interested in experiencing and transitioning your life on the continent, you're a professional, you're an entrepreneur, and you have a family, I'd love to work with you, share my story with you, and encourage you to take action on your next step to your African expat dreams. Until next time, family, I am so grateful for you, and I will see you in the next video.